easy to point fingers and kind of get it done with. And that's what the question
and my
is.
point
whether,
is,
you know,
if I may
Go ahead.
make one point, I think at this point of time, Indian Pilot Association should send a defamation notice to Wall Street Journal. Tell them that this is not acceptable.
No, that will be strong messaging.
And a massive lawsuit they should be looking at if the final results come.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Mirza Faizan, that maybe that's the next step to take so that you don't really see this kind of conjecture constantly being thrown around. But it's not just a problem of Wall Street Journal. There are so many portals out there that are continuing to push this theory across. And Captain Wadia, to just kind of shut this down once and for all, I think the question that constantly they keep asking is, why is it that in the cockpit recording, the co-pilot is asking Captain Sabharwal, why did you cut off the fuel switch? And why is the question not, you know, this has happened? Why is the question, why did you? It's essentially over that there's so much speculation of. So what would you say to anyone who says, look, this was the communication, that means he did it, he saw it?
I already answered that question right in the beginning. That's exactly what I said. This is a normal thing. When you see the power not coming up, something has gone wrong. So one pilot asks the other, have you done anything? Have you put the switches off? And they have said, no, I have not. So why would you not believe what they have said 100%? That is for one thing. Secondly, let me go further and explain how this can happen. First of all, and what again by the evidence that you already have on paper, as soon as the aircraft is taken off, the first thing, normally on all departures, the first thing the pilot not flying says, positive rate of climb, gear up. I presume they may have said that. And obviously, they must have wanted the gear up immediately. That is maybe in about 30 feet or maybe about 2 seconds of the aircraft taking off. Why did this not happen? The gear was left down right till the end, till it crashed. Why? Well, let me explain. And because this has a lot of snowballing effect on this point also. There's something called a squat switch on an aircraft, on the oleo. Okay. Which gives a signal to other computers on the aircraft, whether the aircraft is on the ground or in the air. Now, to put it in layman's terms to explain to everyone, what happens if the aircraft is on the ground, there might be some engineers, there might be some mechanics or whoever can make a mistake and come and put the landing gear up. Now, if that happens, if the landing gear goes up, the aircraft will be damaged to a very large extent. The landing gear going up and the aircraft falls on the ground, it will have a major consequences. So to prevent that from happening, that squat switch is placed there to tell the other computers that the aircraft is on the ground, you cannot put the gear up. You do not. So that is one thing. Secondly, to correlate that and with further evidence on similar subject is also as soon as it's taken off, you've seen the rat, that is Ram Air Turbine, come out. And when does this happen? When both engines are failed. So there is established fact that both engines have failed immediately after takeoff. Now we'll get into a realm of speculation if we start presuming why this has happened. Therefore, I'm not going to get into that area, but I will just point out to you that is it possible to happen without the pilots putting the fuel switches off? Yes, it's possible for it to happen.
It is. That's important.
Yes, it is absolutely possible in various cases. And various, even recently, this lady from America, the Director General Mary, has clearly given us some explanation how this happens. See, the fuel switch is only a trigger for informing the other computers that we want the fuel to be on or off. What actually goes on, the FedEx system, the fuel control valves are operated by in a computer manner. Now, if there's a glitch in the computer system, which can happen quite easily, there's no doubt about that. Also, it has actually happened recently in Tokyo with Japan Airlines. What the pilots did after landing, they used the reversers, and this gave a wrong signal to the aircraft that the aircraft was on ground, and both engines flamed out, both engines shut off on their own without the pilot taking any action or setting on the switches.
Yeah.
So these things can happen. So let us leave this area for the specialists to go into. The DFTR will give a clear indication how this
Correct.
can happen, what can happen. But yes, a lot of things can happen.
Okay, we leave it at that, that we will get a final report. So for everyone speculating, resorting to all of the talk on social media and this engagement, it's not fair at this point to drag the pilots and their families through this, who've been through so much already. It's unfair to resort to this kind of speculation without any concrete proof whatsoever. So let's be patient, wait for that final report to come in before we resort to this kind of speculation, particularly the American media that's running a campaign of sorts right now to do everything but blame it on technical issues, which we can't afford to do right now. Thank you very much, Mirza Faizan and Captain Wadia, for joining us here on News Track.